Yeah. Tomorrow night after work, we're going to hit the road. Final destination, I-29 Dragway, Iowa, for Beater Bomb's Heads Up No Prep race. Made it. There's Boris. We just drove 1,200 kilometers to somewhere in Iowa, I-29 Dragway. So I'm here with Brian and the pickle. He's gonna get unloaded back here. We're gonna get the car pulled off, and I think we're gonna get ready for some testing tonight. Brian's in an 8-car shootout, so we're gonna get set. And there's some badass rides here already, so try and get some footage of that too. Go. So the track is pretty bare, but I think it's going to come around. The surface is really uniform, and it feels like it has a bit of tack and a bit of bite already. So we think with some laps down it will start to, there's the sun, will really start to come around. We're down here about 200 foot where there's a transition, kind of a crack and a little bit of riser in the left lane. So we'll be curious to see how that plays into it, but it should be good. And a short shutdown by the look of it too. That's it. Cool. Yeah.
Mike, find me one of these. Maybe. Want some of that? Should have put the header back on there. Nice. About 480 though.
you guys saw last night, a little bit eventful. We ended up with 2 test passes. Brian went right off the trailer into the 8-car shootout. Had some tune-up issues in the first round. He said he was playing with some fueling stuff. The car kind of stuttered on the line. Guy got out on him, so he went out of that. Brian ended up going up for one more test pass after that, and he threw the rods out of the motor. So that was pretty unfortunate. He was really on a lick there too. I think he's going to share the times, but I think he threw the rod out at 3.7 into that run, and he ended up coasting to a 480 at like 125. So he was really on a pass there, and it's really unfortunate because I think he was going to have a really tough to beat combo. A lot of fast stuff by my standards for sure. In terms of guys that are going to be running with Brian, there are a handful, and I think he would have been on the upper half of that handful, but that's racing sometimes. Sometimes you break shit, sometimes you break shit pretty catastrophically, and this is one of those cases. So right into eliminations today in small tire. Based on how it ran last night, it seemed like I really struck the tire hard, had a ton more wheel speed than we did last weekend when testing. I couldn't get the car to bite for whatever reason on the same tune-up. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is throw the car up in the air, take a full turn out of the clutch to really soften the hit. And I think we're gonna add power to it as well, because the down track did well. The car liked it. We actually went 120 miles an hour to the 8th with a 593, which is the most mile an hour we've had in the 8th. So try to put those together and then go some rounds here in small tire. Okay, can you tell me the number on the jets that we're going to?
Yes, it's 88 and 116.
116, okay. 116 nitrous jet. We also inherited another crew member, so
Crew guy.
putting the big kid in as a result. 400 shot for first round. Should stick, eh, Brian? I think it'll go down.
Since most of the competitors using spread. So just give them an indication or have your crew guy.
I think I caught it.
guys. I think that was last pass for the weekend. Last pass for the season. Didn't feel like a record. We're trying some different stuff. Not super happy with how the chassis was reacting. You know, always trying to get a little better, but yeah, it was tough. Okay guys, that is a wrap. I-29 Dragway, heads up, no prep. Obviously you saw we went out first round. Really pretty egregious driver error there. I left super early. That's just driver error. Nothing more to say on that. I was real up on it, pretty wound up. I thought I was on the tree last night, and I ended up, I think, being 118 reaction time, something like this. So I really got up on it, and I came off super early. So didn't give myself a chance, but nonetheless, we got back up, made a couple test runs, and kind of thought by the end of the night that we got things figured out, moving in the right direction with the setup. Ended up getting back into 590s in the 8th, and we had a tune-up loaded in it that I think was going to go into the 80s for sure. They're going to run the small tire final here. We were working on getting the car loaded up, and we're going to hit the road back to Canada, meet back up with Brian and Don on the road tonight. Overall, a good time as always, running the car, pushing it. We ended up with a 400 shot in the car and basically went 121 miles an hour in the 8th on that last pass. So definitely happy about the power the car was making there. And you know, anytime you can just drive it back on the trailer with all the pistons intact, all the ground straps on the spark plugs, it's a good time. It really means we weren't pushing it maybe as hard as we could be. But that's about it for now. We're gonna go ahead and get loaded.